Hi, everybody. Let me get this shut down. All right. Welcome to Power to Sing Live number 135. Today we're going to have a further discussion about how to eliminate the vocal break. I uploaded an awesome video last Friday, and that video featured a young man that I teach in my studio named Lex. He's now 16 years old. And the video was cool because I had another video of him that we uploaded about 9 months ago. And so I was able to compare the two and let you see his progress in a 9-month period. So I want to know from you, are you still experiencing a break in your voice? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section below. Yes, I have a break. Or let me know, or do you feel a strain as you sing higher? Or do you go breathy when you sing higher? Let me know in the comments below. Just say breathy or strain or break or no break. Let me know. And welcome to Emmanuel. Nice to have you here today, Emmanuel. Mark Schultz, nice to have you here again, Mark. Here's the thing. When I was young, when I was his age, when I was 16, and I was singing, he just finished his sophomore year. I know exactly what I was doing my sophomore year. And I was in concert choir and I was in madrigals. If I sang that's the E above middle C, and I would stop there. I wouldn't. If there was an F in any of our music, that was always in the tenor section. I don't recall ever having an F for a bass, and I was in the bass section. And so I couldn't sing any higher than that, and I didn't think that. I just knew that I was at the top of my voice. And so I would either, if I wanted to play around and maybe try and sing an F, then I had to yell, which was awful, because I was flat and couldn't hit the pitch. Or I also was I could break into falsetto. But I did musical theater. I liked musical theater. Now, I hadn't started my musical theater experience yet. But the following year I did. The following year I auditioned and was cast for, I was cast in Camelot. This is a Camelot I did last year, but I was cast as King Arthur the following year. But you didn't have to sing high as King Arthur. The next year, my senior year in high school, was Carousel, and Billy Bigelow was the lead, and he has an F, where he ends on a big, impressive high note, and I couldn't sing the F without saying, breaking the falsetto, So it didn't strain, but I couldn't do that and be that character. I gotta get ready before she comes. I gotta make certain that she, and sing this great big ending in this soliloquy he has. And I gotta, obviously, I don't know that, I don't have the right key going here. Anyway, it starts out, and he ends up, and he says, "Or die." He says, "Die," and it's a great big, gigantic, big final note. And I would have to go, "Or die." So I would not even try out for that. I didn't think it was possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. It wasn't the top of my voice. I just didn't know how to get to the F without cracking, breaking, or straining or yelling. And so, rather than breaking or die in the falsetto, I didn't do it. I didn't even try it. I have found since that I was wrong. I could do it. I wasn't at the top of my voice. I was at the bridge. I was the top of my chest voice. But there is something called the middle voice or the head or the mixed voice. And then there's something after that, which is head voice. So that's why this is such a vital conversation. I hope that those of you who have maybe never experienced this before realize that you are not at the end of your voice. You just don't know how to get up into that middle or head voice area. For the ladies, you have a lot larger area of middle than the guys. We have more bass. You have more upper. You have more head voice. And so for many ladies, they break into falsetto to get up high because they're experiencing the same thing us guys do at the top of their chest voice. And so they just crack and break into falsetto. So let me say a quick hi to you guys. Thanks for joining me today. Mark Schultz, nice to have you here today. Mark says, said hello to Emmanuel, and he said, I checked out some of your videos. You sound really good. Oh, maybe he's talking to Emmanuel on the videos. So, yes, Tudaku, yes, I still have a break, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with your voice. It's just that you're still working on figuring it out, and I'm going to help you with that today. Peter says, oh, he's from London, England. Awesome, Peter. Thanks for joining us today. I think it's probably for you, what, around 7 p.m. or something like that. And we've got David Masoko. Great to have you here, David. Book of Ellie, definitely breathy. Okay. So we do different things to be able to sing higher into our upper range. And that's a strategy that many use just to go light, because then we don't feel the bridge. We don't feel that break, or we don't feel the pressure building up in our voice. But unfortunately, we can't always use that. Emmanuel says, Mr. Chuck, greetings from Serbia. Awesome to have you here today, Emmanuel. Thank you for joining us. THP, break is gone, but need head mixed voice to sound stronger. All right, awesome. Darko Patosky, hello, Chuck. Well, hello, Darko. Nice to have you here today. Petunia, I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name. Breathy, okay, all right. So there's nothing wrong, inherently wrong. It's just limiting to us, right? So Kevin Bourne, hey, nice to have you here from NY. Thanks, Kevin. I've got a couple kids that live in Brooklyn, so thanks for joining us today. Partha Pradam, Burra, hey, nice to have you here today. And Ivan, tend to strain and tighten up in your throat, automatically starting around the F. Yes, cannot consciously relax it, tightens up by itself. Less than before, but it was still not relaxed. Ivan, if it's less than before, you're making progress. So stay with us, stay with this process, because you're going to get it. Emmanuel says, Mark, thanks so much. They're having a nice conversation. Great for you guys. I'm glad you're here. Partha Pratam, maybe I'll just say PB. My tonsils on the right side is swollen and it pains. Yeah, PB. You got to go to the doctor and get some medication. It's probably got some infection in it, and you'll want to get some antibiotic of some sort to get the infection out. But go see the doctor, definitely. You don't want to mess around with that kind of thing. I used to get strep throat all the time. I got my tonsils out when I was 4, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got them out. But I remember having sore throats all the time, and strep infections. And in fact, as soon as I had my tonsils out, I got a strep infection while I was healing. I remember it. Oh my gosh. There was no air conditioning in the hospital. It was summertime in the Midwest of the United States, hot and humid. I still remember it. It was awful. Okay. Kevin Bourne says, I've always tried to get mixed voice, but I can't get it. And Kevin, it's probably because it's just ingrained in a habit. You've got muscle memory and you're fighting that. And so be patient with yourself. Today will help a little bit. Tudaku says, I can only reach the F by using the diaphragm, but it's heavy chested. So you're pulling the chest voice up, and I've been there and done that. THP, yawning helps me get rid of the break. That's interesting, THP. Why do you think? Let's pause right there, you guys. He's found an interesting phenomena. Oh, just yawn for a second. Oh, put your hand on your Adam's apple and yawn. Oh, what happens to the Adam's apple? What happens to that's the larynx when you yawn? Oh, tell me, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, what happens when you yawn? And you put your hand on the Adam's apple? Oh, 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 oh. What happens? Paprika Vivo. The way I overcame my break was by blowing air through a straw on a cup of water while phonating. It works wonders. Interesting. Emmanuel says, I have new progress with exercises new no. I can go up to B4, one note high C, from the high C with no strain and with gi. It was easy in the first bridge. So for first bridge, I needed more help. Well, congratulations, Emmanuel. That's pretty awesome. In our country, it's H4. Oh, interesting. Mr. TB2ARVD. Hi. Nice to have you here. I don't recall having you join us today, so thank you for being with us, and I hope you find something helpful here. Darko says, can you please explain when I sing higher, how sound if we use resonator? Let me see. Can you please explain to me when I sing higher, how I sound if we use every resonator, chest mix, and head, and how should if we only sing on head nasal resonance? Did diaphragm help for those things? Okay, I'm not quite sure I understand the question. So yeah, THP said, and I want to make a note of this. When you yawn, oh, the larynx goes down. There's tremendous benefit in the larynx staying down when we sing higher. And this is one way to eliminate the break. So we're going to talk about that as soon as I can maybe try and discern Darko's question. And when I sing higher, how sound if we use every resonator, chest, mix, and head, and how sound if we only sing on head nasal resonance? I'm not really sure what the question is, Darko, sorry. But if I'm singing higher and only using a head nasal or just a nay, 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 or or Now let me show you what happens if I go up in that head, that nasal, I'm jamming the E sound into my nasopharynx. So if I drop my larynx down and I allow a little bit of a hooty sound, getting that larynx down, you can hear I'm getting more overtones in my voice. So that's the difference between the nasal sound and using all the more resonating from my entire body. I said, but if I said, So you can tell there's just much more resonance. Oop, sorry about that. An earthquake. It's caused by my chair. Okay. All right. So let me get to just a couple things here. If you after this is over, if you haven't seen that video from Friday, my last video is how to eliminate the break, and then I have a 16-year-old that's, and guys, we all know what happens when we're 14, 15, 16, or 13, that whole area of early teens, we're going through a vocal change. It's the hardest time. And so everything is magnified. This break area is doubly difficult. Once we get through this vocal change, and it can be years, even though the voice has changed, there's a lot of hormonal factors that are coming in. They're just flooding the system for years. And so I've seen it in my own studio where I have a student up to like 18 or 19. He'll go away for a couple years and then come back. And in his 20s, now everything that was harder is easier. And it's not that we're doing the same exercises and everything's easier. So these teen guys, now here's a comment that I had, and I'm going to read it off of one of my comments from the video last week. This is it said, because there's a 9-month comparison, and you can see the progress in those 9 months. He said, 9 months? That's insane. About amount of time. Honestly, the moment I started doing mum and no and bubs, within a week I completely changed my voice and got it connected in a second. Breath control and projection looking like they hold him back. Well, wouldn't that be nice if it was just breath control and projection? That'd be a simple fix. What's holding him back is he's 16 and he's still going through this change. So I asked him how old he was, and I believe this is the gentleman that said he's 23. He's 23 years old. And my experience is similar to this comment, was that I pretty well could feel this connection almost immediately. I was 43. Now, being able to use it in songs is another factor. But, and so the point is, the younger you are, and particularly if you're in your teens, and this vocal change and you're a male, then this can be really, really a process of time. Now, I've had some teen guys, and this guy's got, Alexa's got a very low bass voice. He can get down into this D's and down into the C sharps and so forth. So, on a good day for him. So his voice is heftier, has got more depth. I've got some young men who are tenors, and frankly, it's not as difficult for them. And so it does have an impact on, on learning how to bridge. Okay, so what are some exercises then that help eliminate the bridge, eliminate the break, which is what happens when we get to the bridge. Remember, the bridge area is the area of the voice where you transition from low to high, from chest voice, the low notes, to head voice, the high notes. And that area of the bridge is where everything starts to kind of jam up, it starts to seize up. We start grabbing it with our muscles, our neck muscles, and we start squeezing and so forth. This is where that yawn that THP was talking about today. If you get this yawn, now, and another way of calling it is just a dopey sound, right? So if I talk with a yawn, I'm kind of sounding dopey, right? Hello, guys. Hello, guys. And if I start yawning while I'm talking, we've all done that before. Yeah. I gave myself a yawn. Now, so it's just putting a yawn in your singing is going to lower the larynx. So if we did that together and said, now if I lose the yawn, it sounds like So don't lose it. First step. That's the first step, is connecting the tone. Now, even though it was maybe had that yawn sound in it, that hooty sound, the tone was connected. It didn't disconnect. The larynx stayed down, and the tone didn't fall apart. If I'd lost that that yawning feeling, or the dopey feeling, or the hooty, however you want to describe it, so it's so easy. Gee is a little bit easier, I think, but in a lot of vowels, if you lose that low larynx, then it's going to come apart, or you start pulling the chest voice up. Gee, 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 gee. You start spreading the vowel. So that's one really tremendously powerful exercise, and I thank THP for introducing that today. I think it's interesting because most all of us know what that yawn feels like. Oh, we just have to keep it in the exercise. Try it this way, and so ladies, you would be up here. Now, one criticism all of us guys have at first is we think it's falsetto. It's not falsetto, it's head voice. It's a hooty head voice, maybe one you can't use in a song right away, but you got to start someplace. And so we start with a connection. We start by connecting the tone. And how do you connect the tone? One way is to bring the larynx down as you're going higher and try to impose that larynx. You could say remember, I thought I'd keep that yawn in there the whole time. If I do that, then I'm just pulling up the chest voice. Same thing, coming down. If you're having trouble, say ooh while you're saying and don't be too worried if it's a little bit light right now. You've got to start with the connected tone, because you can build on the connected tone. You can't build anything into falsetto, but you can build into that lighter head voice. A couple comments here. Let me just take a couple, and then I'll show you another exercise that we didn't show in the video on last Friday, but it will help eliminate the break. I'll show you that in a second. Ivan says the exercise with the NG, the ring sound, is a sure way to produce a mix. It's very helpful to force a mix, especially in the beginning, to get an idea what a mix is. Thanks, Ivan. Yes. And we've talked about that in previous videos, and it's a very powerful exercise. Try it this way, guys, and then ladies, you'd be up around here. But if you said ring, 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 ring. So you start to feel the connected tone. Ring, 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 ring. Or say it on sing, 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 sing. Or how about ming, 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 ming. You have to leave the tongue up on the roof of back in the by the soft palate. Otherwise, you'll lose it. Ring, so ring, keep that NG feeling. You could do it on this long scale and say ring or ming. It's a great way to begin to feel what it feels like to stay connected. But then we have to go to other vowels, and that's the challenge. But at least if there's no other way, that's a great way to start feeling it right away. Here's another way. It's very simple. That's a connected tone that goes easily up to that was the A, I think, A flat. And ladies, you would do the same thing, only. And that's an immediate, you want to keep the tone connected. Don't let it go. Don't let that happen inside that bubble. Keep that thing going the whole time. Consistent tonal connection there, but the bubble makes it so much easier. It's very similar to, it's essentially what happens when you're singing through a straw. It was talked about a minute ago. See what's happening, there's very little air escaping through the lips because this is interrupting the air and this is interrupting the air. Essentially is doing it like you're doing it with a straw, or like this. Punctual. It's a great way to start eliminating the break. We didn't show any of those in last Friday's video, but it's still a really great video, so be sure and check it out. Let me back up and catch a couple of these other comments, and then I'm going to give you another exercise that will help get rid of your break and help reduce strain in your voice. And actually it's a little bit closer to regular speaking voice. All right. We talked about the NG. Yapadios, hi, nice to have you here today. PB says, till what age can I improve my vocal range? I have a lady right now that I'm teaching. She's 89. She's improving her vocal range. And I had students as young as 5. Anywhere in between. Darko, Pekoski says, so still singing for higher notes from chest is necessary to have that little deep resonance in higher notes too. Yeah, Darko, so if we go into falsetto on the way up, then what do you have? You lose that tonal connection to the bottom. Plus, it doesn't blend back down in the chest. So you've got to reestablish the connection to chest, and it clunks back in. It won't blend back in. So to maintain that total tonal connection, you can hear there's more there than ma 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 ma. I can sing quite high in falsetto. I mean quite loud, ma, but there's something missing. Ma 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 ma. That blends. It's just there are overtones that drop out when you're in falsetto. Someone put it like this. It's like you're walking with just your quadriceps, but your hamstrings behind your leg are not involved. Why sing with just part of your vocal musculature? That's what happens when you go into falsetto. Much of the muscle drops out. In fact, very little, if any. It's just the mucosal layer of the chord structure touching, but you're missing out on the full depth of the vocal folds. when that falsetto breaks the tone. And so that's why we, and so I, I, I don't know of, I've never heard anybody in musical theater particularly sing in falsetto on the high note, male at least. For the ladies, I think it's easier to cheat, but the ones who don't connect, wow, you can really hear the difference. Sorry, the ones who don't disconnect, you can really hear there's more to their voice, and it's healthier. If you're singing falsetto for 10 or 20 years, you lose the musculature in your voice, and you do it for 30 or 40 years, and pretty soon it sounds like because you can't keep the chords together. The muscles haven't been used enough, and so you get a wobble. Antonio, hey, nice to have you here. Villegas, I think I'm quite lucky. I'm 16 and I can reach the E5 in head voice. I'm a baritone voice, but my falsetto sounds horrible and limited. And I'm also a baritone bass. Can you help me with falsetto thing? No, eliminate. Don't even worry about falsetto, Antonio. You don't need falsetto. If you've got E5 in head voice, what do you need falsetto for? What songs are going to take you to the F sharp 5, G5? Just keep building your head voice. Keep working that so that it's. That's the F5. That's the F sharp 5. Keep building that head voice. That was the high G, the G5. It surprises me because I didn't think I could do that today. So, but that's head voice. Who needs falsetto? I don't need it. If you want to break into falsetto for a stylistic thing, choose that. But I wouldn't worry about it. Probably people hate me for saying that, but what do you need it for? Hemant Sharma says, how to keep voice soft while singing high notes. Hemant, you have to learn how to mix. You've got to learn to mix chest and head voice. And in doing that, you'll start developing your ability to be able to lean into your voice for greater, louder dynamic, or to back off into a softer dynamic without it cracking or breaking. Okay? So a great exercise for that is no, 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 no. No, no, without the no spreading. No, 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 no. If you do that, you're just pulling up chest. So you got to keep the no and the no in the same spot. No, 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 no. I didn't give myself enough air, but that's the principle. And so you've got, and that's a result. That's actually in my head voice. But if I came down in the mix, this is the F. Ladies, for you would be like your mix would be in the A, B flat, B, and C. Do the same thing. You've got to be able to do that mix in the bridge. No, 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 no. So once you're in the condition of that mix with the appropriate vocal cord coordination, then you can lean into the mix. You can lean into the head voice, which is the same coordination, and do it from loud to soft. Most of the time we can't do it because we're not really in that correct coordination with the larynx down and too often it's in falsetto or it's pulled up chest, and so what happens is it doesn't have the strength of the power when you get louder, or it cracks if you try and go softer and so forth. Viago Vinicius. How do you know what is the best exercise to increase vocal range as fast as possible? The best vocal exercise to increase vocal range as fast as possible. What exercise, let me ask you this, Viago, what exercise is the best to get abdominal muscles to show, to get the washboard, to get the abs? What exercise, physical exercise is best, and how fast can you get abs? Can you get, a washboard-looking abdominal, so you take your shirt off and you can see abs. I don't know exactly what the best exercise for abs, but I know that the very finest exercise, the best exercise for abs, still is going to take, I don't know. Depends on what condition you're in. At least weeks. I would say at least 6 weeks for that, and maybe a couple of months, maybe 3 or 4 months, depending on your physical condition. So for you, Thiago, I don't know without knowing what you're doing right now. I can give you one that's it increased my my range rather quickly, and that was this one. So I was right in between the E and the F5. That, you can increase your range immediately then. Now, if you're talking about, increase your range in a song, then that's probably not going to help you in a song. It'll help, but that may not translate immediately to a song. So you've got to start getting into words up that high. So I don't know if there's just one best exercise. I'll pause right now and give you all an exercise that I did not share on the last video on Friday, how to eliminate the vocal break. But this will eliminate the vocal break. Why didn't I show it? Because in this student that I showed you on Friday, it didn't help him as much. So that's the thing about teaching, is that I would, if every exercise worked perfectly, Thiago, for everybody, then it would be easy. I would just say, oh, it's the nay, 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 and do it really bratty, and you'll have it. But in some voices, it doesn't work. So you have to, you have to experiment and try different ones and find which one works best for you. For me, to tell you guys, when I first experienced being able to get from chest into head voice, was something called the cry. I just put a little pout, little cry on the mum. And that did that. I felt it. I remember I was driving in my car over an interpass, and I can remember where it was. And I thought, my gosh, what did I just do? Now that was with a mum. I did this one earlier, but it's less like speaking. Mum is a lot more like speaking, and so that was a very exciting moment for me. That increased my range immediately, but not necessarily. I couldn't go out and sing that night, sing that song. It took me, I'd say, at least 6 to 7 months before I could sing one note higher. That I was willing to put, to risk it. And it was the F. I could sing the F, and I finally had enough courage to try it. And it wasn't perfect. I was still pulling a little bit, but I could hit it, whereas I couldn't hit it before. But it spread a little bit. I was still pulling chest slightly. All right, here's the exercise. You ready, guys? Everybody ready? You're going to be disappointed. Nay, 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 nay. It's just that little witchy nay, nay, nay. Why? Why does that work? Well, there's something about I don't know exactly. There's something about the nay, nay, nay that connects the tone nay, 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 nay. Can you tell that I'm not doing it full out loud? I'm doing it like at least half as loud as normal would be, so it'd be like medium. Um, and I'm not doing it hard. Nay, 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 nay. But I tell you what I am doing. I'm connecting the tone. There's not a break in that. I didn't say nay, 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 nay. I didn't disconnect into falsetto. I kept that little witchy sound. Nay. Nay, 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 nay. Girls, that's your first. That's the A to the A. Nay, 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 nay. Now that's connected tone. A to A. I'll tell you, when I was 16, in a million years, I would have never guessed that I would ever be able to do that. And so that's a fast way, Thiago, that's a very fast way to increase a vocal range as fast as possible. And you can take that and put it right into a song, whatever your song is. I always revert to like, nay, 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 nay. Just stay with that witchy sound until you can do it with connected. What does the witchy sound do? It reduces the heaviness of the chest coordination. You know, I was not saying nay, nay, nay. I wasn't yelling up the chest, which is thick and heavy and straining. This doesn't strain my voice. Is it a finished sound? No, it's not a finished sound. But it leads pretty quickly to a finished sound. So if I said nay, 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 there's no break in it. I'm not in falsetto, so it's the vocal cords are deeper than the falsetto. So, but it's not as heavy as full chest. And I'm in a situation where it's really close to speaking, very close to what I want to do in my songs and my singing. So maybe I should try it now a little less heavy. A little less witchy. Nay, 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 nay. If I start to pull chest, go witchy again. No, try it on a different word. Now that that's holding. No, 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 no. Get that to work a few times. Maybe you have to do it on no, 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 no. But you see how close it is to speaking? Like a bridge over troubled water. Of course, I've done this and I've practiced it, so it's going to take you longer than 2 minutes, but it might not. So that's another very, very powerful exercise, is that nay, nay, nay. And do it, start it out soft, start it out witchy and exaggerated, and then go gradually more and more towards normal. That is how you can eliminate breaks in your voice. Another way. Okay, so a couple comments here. Himant Sharma says, I am able to transition from chest to head voice without any break, with all exercises you have taught us. But is it feasible to have a softer voice while singing high notes? Yes, it is. So the better you get at your mix, the softer you can sing in your head voice. I mean, I could do that like a bridge. Like a bridge over troubled water. Got to give myself more air, but you get the idea. Yes, absolutely, Hemant. PB, I retracted the message. Oh, here we go. Do I need to do new exercises after I improve my singing? Yes. No, not new ones, not different ones. Just keep doing the ones you're doing and just do them better. Get better and better at them. And there are always going to be some exercises that you'll discover that you'll want to add to what you're doing, as long as it's helping you get better and better. But you know, you guys, I don't think great singing comes about because you got 150 exercises. I think it's because you can do 15 of them really well. Maybe 5 of them really well. Maybe a couple really well. To Daku, I always break into falsetto with the bubble lips because my falsetto is very strong and easy to sing in. I know I need to stop this, but I'm the flip falsetto type. So to Daku, I would try this nay, 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 and I would stop doing anything that puts you into falsetto, because that's just reinforcing the muscle memory. Go get something that works and build on that. Go to the gee gee gee. Gee 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 gee, and do it really dumb. Gee gee, with a big yawn and gee 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 gee. Now remember that gee 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 is not falsetto, it's head voice, and it fools us guys. Gee 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 gee. That's not falsetto, it's head voice. So don't be fooled by connected head voice just because it's light and airy and way up into your head. That's where head voice is. It's the same place as falsetto. That's why it's so confusing. And it feels very similar to us guys, except that you can't break into, if you're in falsetto, you can't break into falsetto. If you're in head voice, you could break into falsetto. If you're in falsetto, you can't blend into chest. But if you're in falsetto, if you're in head voice, you can blend it into your chest voice. So it takes some time, but at first it's confusing whether you're in head voice or falsetto, but those are things to be aware of that will help you. Okay. Ty Richardson. Hi, Grandpa. Ty, buddy, I think you're at my house, aren't you? You guys, my grandson Ty is visiting me today, and apparently he's watching. Okay, PB says, how can I know which exercises is best for my voice? I think they all are, aren't they? I mean, is there an exercise bad for your voice? If we're doing the exercises correctly, I have found them all to be of benefit. So maybe he's referring to like it didn't work, like the nay, nay, nay didn't work for my 16-year-old. How old are you, PB? Because I think in some circumstances, it's not that it's bad for his voice. It just didn't work as fast as the gi did. Inevitably, we have to do both. So PB, I'm not saying you should only do certain one, or this 16-year-old should only do gi. He's going to have to do gi and nay, 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 and everything in between. We have to do it all. We don't want any limitations in our voices. If you go to the doctor because your arm's been injured, and you go to a therapist, and now you have to build this muscle here again, would you not build this one? Wouldn't you build all of the muscles? So we have to do all of these exercises because we want all of the voice to function as optimally. And if one's harder for you, don't do it as long. Do it correctly. Even if it's hard, do it correctly. And then keep revisiting it. You'll find over time it gets easier. It's a good question. AB says, when I practice high notes for 15 to 20 minutes after my bass notes gets affected, and there's some sort of double voice that comes. So AB, when you're practicing high notes, it's the larynx is coming up. And so when you go back down and hit your low notes, they're not there. You can't get into it. So if I were really practicing these high notes, and I couldn't get back down to it'd be because I had been pulling my larynx too high, and now it won't settle back in. I've had that happen before, particularly in musical theater. If I'm in the ensemble and I'm singing and trying to sing louder than the guy next to me or something, then I can start pulling my chest voice higher and the larynx comes up, and then when I have to come down and hit the low note, I can't get it. It goes, I can't quite get down there because the larynx is high. That's the cause of the problem with your low notes. The larynx is up. So you got to get that. When you're practicing the high notes, you got to make sure the larynx isn't climbing and getting higher and higher. Emmanuel says, how much time can we exercise only? How much time we can exercise only in bridge? I would exercise every day in the bridge, above the bridge, below the bridge, throughout. Once you get that one, go into the second bridge. Sometimes maybe the third bridge. Again, if you're exercising, you're not just going to exercise just your shoulders. You want to exercise your arms. You want to exercise maybe even your forearm, with some exercises. You want to do all the exercises and give them all equal time. Nothing wrong with that at all. To get stronger bridges and safe in the same time. Well, if you do the exercises as demonstrated, as I've taught, you'll be safe. You're not going to injure yourself. You don't build your voice by going to the extreme all the time. You don't. In fact, you want to start out and not be extreme. Build your voice. Just go to the. Just get a few notes into through the first bridge. Like, if you know the top is your F sharp, go to the G. And then once you get that, increase it to the A flat, and so forth. Incremental is always okay. BP, okay. If you're 16 BP, then there may be some of these that work better for you and others that don't. And so if it doesn't work for you, do the other one. If that works better, that's how you know. That's how you know. And so I'm making this different for BP because it's different for him, guys. He's 16. His voice is still changing. It changes every day. From day to day, it's going to be different. And so he's got the hormonal change. He's got this thicker, fatter vocal cord he's got to deal with. He's only had it a year or 2 or 3. I've had mine for 50 years. So it's different. So BP, if it works well for you, keep working that. And if one doesn't, come back to it. Come back to it once a week, and work with it for a little while until it gets better and easier for you. AB says, thank you, sir. Okay. I don't know. Oh, this is held for review. So I can see it here. Thiago says, and I've got to run, you guys. I got to get going here. Great questions today. I hope this has been helpful on more of a discussion on how to eliminate the break. I'm 19 years old. I'm a baritone. My vocal type is pulled chest high larynx. So with those exercises you showed me, how long will it take to reach the C5? C5? Tomorrow. You should be able to get it tomorrow. My voice cracks at the G5 today. So that's not the question. The question, Thiago, is how long will it take you to keep the larynx down? As soon as the larynx stays down, you'll hit the C5. So how long can it take to keep the larynx down? It varies. If you're 19, I think you're still going through some of the vocal change. It's still not quite as solid. It's going to be in your 20s. So I had a young man who, like as I mentioned, I had him when he was 18. I didn't see him when he was 19 and 20. I got him back when he came back and he's 21, and it was easier for him then than it was before. So for you, it might be really really tough until you're in your 20s, but I still think you can get to it. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. You just got to work with what nature. And as a teacher, I have to work with what nature gives. Like I said, Thiago, if everybody was exactly the same, I would just I just write a book and mail it to you. But it's different. So you have to kind of go with what nature's going to give you. If you've got a B5, if you've got a B4, or if you just work and so you get to the G sharp 4, good for you. And then the and then the A4, that would be awesome. Just work for one or two notes at a time, but focus on what's going on with your voice. Don't focus on how high you're going. Focus on, are you keeping the larynx down? Duh. Are you losing that yawning sound? Are you losing the bratty sound? Is that the reason why? Because those things will help you. Focus on the process. Don't focus on what note you're hitting. All right, you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna. Let me just see here if I can get. I just want to thank you. Well, thanks, Thiago. And I support you, brother. 19, 18, 17, 16 years. I mean, those are tough years for us all of us guys. And keep after it. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. PB says I got my school exams after 20 days. So if I stop singing for 20 days because I want to focus on my studies, it's okay to. Yep, it's okay to stop. Yeah, just do some bubbles in the morning. On your way to take the exam, do a tongue drill. Just do a few of those every day. Emmanuel says, thank you, Chuck. Wanted to hear that. I'm glad. Well, thanks, you guys. THP, thanks. Always learning. Thank you, guys. Some text here. Finally found my mix and can sing really high. Do you know what helped me? Vocal fry. Do you use it in your lessons? I don't use a vocal fry. I've never had to. Never had to use it. And it has to change to sing high. I mean, I have to go into something else. I have maybe used it a couple times to help people get their vocal cords together. But from what I understand, it's more of a wave action rather than a regular vocal cord. It does this kind of thing. It's more like bacon frying than it is the vocal cords working. So I think but good for you. I'm glad it worked for you. More power to you. AB says, one more question, sir. My head voice vibratos are awesome, but whenever I go a high note through chest voice or middle voice, I'm not able to have those vibratos. Some exercises. Okay. So AB, I guess you're a guy? Even if you're not, do this one and say, she. If you can do the tongue twirl. Use that tongue twirl and let it start the spin for you. Right in E, F, F sharp. If you get it in E, F, F sharp, G area, it'll work. Yes, and he's 19. Okay, so that's a tough one. You're facing the same thing Thiago is, but you can get it. This is what I would also recommend and say. She. Do it on she. Not too loud. I'm I'm doing it probably too loud. She. See if that helps. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being with me today, and some great questions. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing. This is live number 135, and how to eliminate the break, a discussion. And thanks for your comments. This has helped. If you haven't seen the video that was posted last Friday, it's how to eliminate the break, and I show you a comparison between a 16-year-old's voice between nine months ago and today, and you can see his progress doing a lot of these exercises we did today. Also, if you don't have your vocal type yet, go in the description below and get your vocal type. Download that PDF. It'll take you to a vocal type test. It'll take you to exercises. It'll take you to videos, 3 videos about your vocal type, and it'll give you exercises for your vocal type. That will help you start to eliminate these breaks. It'll help you get into your mixed voice. It'll help you give you a stronger voice. If you're coming from light chest, no chest, you'll get more vocal cord into your singing. And so get your vocal type, download that PDF, and get going on those exercises today. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you inside the next video. Take care. Thanks for joining me.